let's go back to constitutional betterment. Bury the niggers. We intend to do our part. We intend to do our part. Give us our state rights. Freedom for the whites. Nigger will have to fight for every inch he gets from now on. Brandenburg versus Ohio, 395 U.S. 444, 1969. U.S. Supreme Court reading that I have the First Amendment to read into the record my opinion about a dirty nigger named Los Angeles that has made multiple families live in the streets, made veterans suffer, live on the streets, and made families today live all together, 20 to 40 people in one fucking house, when you can't afford to buy a home for $700,000 in this shithole country called America. So if you want to save America, get your First Amendment on. If you want constitutional betterment, speak up. Don't be a...
Good morning to everyone who is attending the Board of Public Works meeting here in our hearing room. If there's anyone in the hearing room who wishes to offer public comment or commentary on any of our agenda items, please fill out a speaker card located in the back of the room on the table. Indicate which item you'd like to speak on and your name, and hand that to me, and I will include it in the record. And good morning as well to our attendees and our panelists joining us on the virtual platform. If there are any members of the public who wish to offer public commentary or comments on any of our agenda items this morning on the virtual platform, please press *9 to raise your hand, *6 to unmute, and I'll record your name and which item you'd like to speak on for the record. Good morning to our panelists from the bureaus. If I could ask Mr. Saragumba to unmute and respond and confirm that you can hear me, and then I will confirm if I can hear you.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you so much. There's a little bit of sound bleed because we have a member of the public who is being somewhat loud in the room, but yes, I can hear you. Thank you so much, Richard. And we do have an attendee with the CT Williams 2012 email. If you would please press *9 to unmute, identify yourself for the record, and which items you'd like to speak on. I will record that information.
And the reason is because America wants you not to know.
Morning.
Hi, I'm here with Street Services.
Hello, Dr. Tom Williams, wanting to speak on general public comment 0 and number 5.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Dr. Williams, could you please repeat yourself? There's a little bit of noise going on here in our hearing room, and I could not hear which items you'd like to speak on.
I understand. Dr. Tom Williams, wanting to speak on general public comment, item 0 and item 5.
Public comment, which is the first item?
And item number 5.
Got it. Public comment and item number 5, Dr. Williams. I have you recorded. Thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and ask you to mute until we are ready to take public comment. Is there anyone else on our virtual platform or here in our hearing room who wishes to offer public comment? Again, if you're here in the hearing room, please fill out a speaker card, indicate which items you'd like to speak on in your name, and hand it to me for the record. And anyone on our virtual platform, please press *9 to raise your hand. Thank you so much. We should get started in the next 2 to 3 minutes. And good morning, and once again, welcome to everyone who's attending the Board of Public Works meeting. I'm going to go ahead and put us in record mode at this time. And Vice President Villegas, we are now in record mode.
Thank you. And good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Made it through the week. Welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting for the Board of Public Works. Today is October the 6th, and I will turn it over to you so you can take roll, please.
Thank you, Vice President Villegas. Good morning. TJ Knight, Assistant Executive Officer, taking role in establishing quorum. Vice President Villegas, President Pro Tem Davis, Commissioner Corsand, and Commissioner Reyes are present. We have a quorum. We are also joined this morning by City Attorney Representative Adina Hoppenstan. Once again, I'm Assistant Executive Officer TJ Knight. Vice President Villegas, we have 2 speaker cards under public comment, no neighborhood council commentary, and 1 speaker card under items 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Okay. And we have a speaker on public comment. Is that correct?
Correct. We have 2 speakers on public comment. We have 1 on the virtual platform and 1 here in the room.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Then let's take public comment. I think we have Dr. Williams.
We do. Dr. Williams, if you would please press star 6 to unmute, and go ahead and you'll have 2 minutes.
Thank you. Dr. Clyde Thomas Williams, or Tom, from LA 32 Neighborhood Council and Northeast LA. Basically, we're quite concerned regarding the sidewalk transit amenities program that is being proposed. Number 1, it's had no coordination with DUN or the 99 neighborhood councils, and nobody knows about it. And I say that's a real problem for the next 5 years for us and perhaps for you. As an indicator of some of the problems with it, we see no coordination between Department of Public Works, staff, and the Department of Disabilities, because when you're on the sidewalks, you're under ADA compliance. And so far, the presentations that I have seen do not indicate that anyone in either the Bureau of Engineering or Bureau of Construction Administration is cognizant of ADA requirements on such things as bus stops. If you're going to sit down, you got to have a place to sit down. And the access for wheelchairs is just not there. So I'd highly recommend that the Bureau of Contract Administration learn what ADA requirements are and put them into all contracts with specifications to cover those particular ADA requirements. So in general, the STAP program needs a lot of rework, and we may continue reviewing it and take other actions regarding coordination.
That's 2 minutes.
Done. Coordination with disabilities. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. And we will take up our next speaker. I just wanted to just lay the ground rules for any disruption during our meeting. You'll be warned if the disruption occurs. You will be advised that you're going to be removed from the meeting, and we ask for prudence during today's meeting. Thank you. If we can please take up the next speaker.
And go ahead. You have 2 minutes, sir.
Well, your clock here says 1:20, foo, so get it to 2 minutes. Now, the issue here is about sidewalk and streets. And the history of Los Angeles has been that dumb motherfuckers like you don't follow the program to fix our sidewalk and streets. You want to put it on families to pay for this shit. But they don't know about egress, they don't know about slope, they don't know about width, because that's not their responsibility. It's your fucking responsibility. That's why the taxpayers of America pay you bitches to do your fucking job. You understand that? So until you do so, dumb motherfuckers, fix our fucking sidewalk and streets, ramps and curbs because they're out of date under the American Disability Act 2010 standard. In addition to that, what about homelessness? And what about the trash on our streets? Not one motherfucking change has occurred since that fucking first bitch mayor has become your czar. Why is that? The first black stupid mayor and the bitch can't fix our sidewalks and streets and clean up our streets from homelessness? Well, let me read into the record, Brandenburg versus Ohio, 395 U.S. 444, 1969, you fucking racist bitch. This is it. The significant portion that could be understood were a dirty nigger, send the Jews back to Israel, let's give them back to the dark garden, save fucking America. Save fucking America. There are people here that have children that are disabled, that have autism, that have Down syndromes, and you motherfuckers don't fucking care. Let's go back to constitutional betterment, bury the niggers, we intend to do our part, give us our state rights, freedom for the whites. Nigger will have to fight for every inch he gets from now on, bitch.
Mr. Knight, then we will close public comment and neighborhood council comments as well, and move on our agenda. Do we have a second to my motion to approve the minutes from September 22nd? Second. All right, Mr. Knight, we have a motion by myself and a second by Commissioner Reyes. If you can please take roll.
Very good. And a roll call vote on the approval of the minutes, starting with you, Madam Vice President.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis. Commissioner Corsan.
Aye.
Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
All ayes, and the item is approved. I would just like to note for the record that we are experiencing some technical issues regarding our timer. It doesn't seem to be counting down on the side that is facing the public, but it is counting down on my timer, so I'm going to face that to the public so they're aware of the time remaining.
Thank you. And does it blink when it's going to be 2 minutes?
It makes a noise. It counts down from a minute, from 120 seconds, and then it makes a little noise when it reaches 0. So that will alert me to indicate that the time has
Okay.
expired.
All right, thank you. All right, then let's move on to item number 1, and this is the Bureau of Engineering. And this is a task order solicitation, number 85, Task A. Sparano and Mooney Architects, pre-qualified on-call consultants list for the Balboa Complex Aquatics Facility project, and recommending that the board authorize the city engineer to issue a task to Saparano and Mooney Architecture from the pre-qualified on-call architecture and related professional services consultants list to provide architectural design and engineering services for the Balboa Sports Complex Aquatics Facility as stated in task order solicitation number 85, Task A, with the budget authority of $2,050,000, including contingency. And Mr. Knight, do we have public comment on this?
Yes, we do.
Yeah. All right. So public comment starting with the letter F.
Public commenter on item number 1, please approach the podium. And you have 2 minutes.
What motherfucking number are we on? May I get clarity? What motherfucking number are we on?
This
We're
is
on-
number 1.
Sorry, I didn't hear that. What motherfucking number are we on? And it's at 1:07, fool, not 2 minutes. Can you
We already
reset the time?
commented that the timer is
No,
incorrect.
fix the fucking timer because that's my constituent time on the
You
floor.
do get the time. You do get the time.
Okay, so I'm at what item? Item 1?
Item 1, we were just
Item
starting the
1.
meeting.
On-call consultants. Really? A complex aqueduct facility? We don't need no more fucking swimming pools. We need people to get clean water to their homes. We need infrastructure where you can fix the main lines that are over 80 to 100 years old since this fucked up, corrupted city of Los Angeles under DWP, under that fucking attorney asshole, Peter Thomas, for the record, has been ripping off the public who lost his bar license because he's a jackass, moron, nimbusole, idiot attorney, for the record. Peter Thomas, dickhead. So going back to how do we save water? Well, there's not enough water. And guess what? God is going to punish every single living fucking animal, beast, person in here today. Mark my words, when the water is contaminated, when the water is no longer drinkable, and people don't want no motherfucking food. They want water. They want wells. They want fresh water. They don't want a fucking aqueduct facility packet project. Otherwise, you would have left the fucking swimming pools and Boyle Heights instead of ripping them out, assholes.
All right. We will have, I'm on my notes, I have that we will have Mr. Ohaji Abdallah present on item number 1. Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
Ohaji,
Just speak into the microphone.
Sure. Oh, thank you. Ohaji Abdullah with the Bureau of Engineering Architectural Division. Good morning, Commissioners and Executive Officer, City Attorneys, and departments. This project is a Proposition K project, part of the 1994 ballot measure, and I'll try not to repeat the wonderful introduction that Vice President Villegas gave us. The project scope is centered around creating an aquatic center as required by the ballot measure in 1994 in the Sepulveda Basin. The current site that's noted in the diagram within the report is on the northern portion of the Sepulveda Basin. And it's, as you can see there, it's a very large site that we're not utilizing the entirety of. The remainder of that site is actually being developed within and in conjunction with the larger Sepulveda Basin Master Plan and the Olympics 28 Committee. Our project is going to be phased, phase 1, and it's being phased to accommodate the availability of funding. We'll still be able to deliver the Prop K required ballot measure scope as part of phase 1, which is the development of an aquatic center. Phase 1 will include the bathhouse, a large water play area, which is almost like a scaled down water park, and parking and PVs over that parking to accommodate that project. Phase 2 will consist of an Olympic short course swimming pool, and infrastructure, and a new pool equipment facility as needed. One of the interesting things about this particular TOS is that we bundled this task order with another task order that had a similar scope of work. I believe that's already come to this board, the Mar Vista bathhouse and pool replacement project. So that project is beginning to move forward, and this project, which is also being assigned to the same consultant, will move forward upon your approval. The task order amount is for roughly $2 million, roughly $2,050,000, and we have the available funding to move forward. Any questions?
Thank you. Commissioners, do we have questions on this item? Dr. Davis?
So Prop K funding is our target for resources financially here. Do you know that we are proposing to get all of the total funds for the project out of Prop K?
We're absolutely not, depending on Proposition K for all of the project funds. As you know, this program is sunsetting in 3 years. We only get $25 million per year, and we have a litany of projects with large deficits. So we are submitting CTIEP requests every year as a part of a multi-year funding strategy to fill those coffers so that we can award the construction contracts when the time comes.
Okay, great. What is the duration of the project in terms of when do we anticipate completing it? I know you mentioned the 2028 Olympics, correct?
Yes, so we anticipate completion of this project in about 4 years.
Okay.
We have been meeting with the Sepulveda Basin Master Plan Committee, which also includes the Olympics 28 Committee, and have discussed a possible nexus between the projects. They have not provided any information that would indicate that there would be another aquatic facility adjacent to this at this time.
Okay. So of all of the potential revenues that we could benefit from to create such a facility, this is the only such facility on the table at this time.
At this time, yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that question, Dr. Davis. And thanks for your presentation. Just a quick question on my end. The information that's before us today is only for design work, is that correct?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so when the architecture firm completes that, or it gets ready, or comes to a certain percentage for completion of the design work, will they notify us of any additional like permits from like either Army Corps or anything like that? Or is that stuff that you will be seeking?
Those are typically items that we seek as part
Okay.
of our normal permitting process.
Okay.
We'll certainly be working with the Army Corps as we maneuver through design. This is a Recreation and Parks project, so the bid and award will actually go through the Recreation and Parks Board.
Okay. All right, thank you. Any other questions, commissioners? All right, do we have a motion to move this item?
Second.
All right, Mr. Knight, we have a motion by Dr. Davis and a second by Commissioner Corsan. If you could please take roll.
Very good. And we will take a roll call vote on item number 1, starting with you, Madam Vice President,
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis,
Aye.
Commissioner Corsand,
Aye.
and Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
All ayes, and item number 1 is approved and will move forward forthwith.
Thank you. All right, I know you're still up for number 2, is that correct?
Yes.
All right, I think I'm going to let you have a seat for just a moment. I'm going to read it in, and then we're going to take public comment, and you can come back. All right, item number 2, and this is in Council District number 9, and it's a budget increase, task order solicitation number 72 for Paul Murdoch Architects Slauson Connect Recreation Center project, recommending that the board, number 1, authorize the city engineer to issue a revision of the task for task order solicitation number 72 to Paul Murdoch Architects, increasing the budget authority from $700,000 to $760,000 for architect and design services from the Slauson Connect Recreation Center. And we have a public comment on this item for item number 2, and that's for persons starting with the letter F.
Public commenter with the name starting with letter F, please approach the podium, and you'll have 2 minutes. Public commenter for item number 2, are you in the room? The public commenter is not responding to the notice in the room. So
Okay.
we can go ahead and close public comment if you'd like.
All right, we will close public comment for item number 2, and Mr. Abdallah, you can please present for this item.
Again, good morning, Commissioners. Ohaji Abdullah for the Bureau of Engineering Architectural Division. This project is located in Council District 9 and has been under design for the last year or so. It encompasses the design and construction of a 12,000 square foot child care facility, after-school program, and community room spaces. Some of the more interesting
Just be closer to the
some of the more
microphone.
interesting portions of this project incorporate a green roof design that accommodates community events, as well as a 2-acre park adjacent to it that brings much needed park space to the South LA community. In order to fight down and move this project a little faster than normal, fighting down the construction costs, we are developing a design build package that will be soon issued through this Board of Public Works in November. And the report will be coming to this Board of Public Works to be heard in November. That design build package, we hope, will facilitate the flexibility needed to push down some of the construction costs, the rising construction costs we see within the last year and the upcoming years. I'm available for any questions.
Thank you for that. Commissioners, do we have questions on this item?
What is the duration of the time for this project? The time in terms of this project?
The duration for construction,
Yes.
which since we're essentially at the end of design. We're in the bid and award phase. The construction timeline is roughly 18 months to 2 years. And we know that the contractor will have to do some fast tracking to meet that timeline. They will be obviously completing the construction documents while doing site work, et cetera, to meet our demands on the schedule.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you for your presentation. I don't see any other lights on for questions. Do we have a motion to approve this item?
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Knight, we have a motion by Dr. Davis and a second by Commissioner Corson. If you can please take roll.
Yes, very good. We'll take a roll call vote on item number 2, starting with you, Madam Vice President.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis.
Aye.
Commissioner Corsand.
Aye.
And Commissioner Reyes. All ayes. Item number 2 is adopted and will move forward forthwith.
Thank you so much. Have a
Thank
great
you.
weekend.
Enjoy your weekend. Thank you. All right, Commissioners, let's move on then to the next item on our agenda, and that is in item number 3, and that is for all council districts. And this is a request for proposal, an RFP, a personal service contract, mobile pit, stop mobile showers, and Skid Row cleaning programs, recommending that the board release the transmitted RFP for the facilities attendant and monitoring services at permanent, temporary, portable, and automatic public toilets, operation and mobile shower trailers, and related attendant monitoring services and Skid Row cleaning program. Number 2, evaluate the RFP submissions, select and interview the most qualified proposers based upon the requirements and procedures set forth in the RFP. Number 3, negotiate the personal services contracts with the highest rated and most responsive proposers subsequent to the receipt and objective review of all proposals submitted in the response to the transmittal of the RFP. And number 4, return to the Board of Public Works for the authority to award and execute contracts with the term period sufficient to provide the described services. And before us on this item is, I think it's Mr. Mike Yu, but I'm going to be taking public comment. Just give me a moment, please. And for item number 3, we have public comment from person with the letter F. If you can please come to the speaker, to the mic.
And you have 2 minutes to offer your public comment.
Public record card says fat bitch. That's for the record, Miss Attorney. Let's get down to this. I'm not the bitch with the badge. However, I am the bitch about homelessness. HHH, bitch, bitch, bitch. And the reason why I bitch is because the Board of Public Works, the cleaning people of the Board of Public Works need a budget so they can help the communities pick up trash, pick up any debris left out on the goddamn motherfucking streets. Not like where the president might live, because her fucking streets are clean. Or what about the commissioners? Are your fucking streets clean where you live? Because I know you fucking don't live in the area of Los Angeles, because it's a shithole. You live on the outskirts. And that's the reason why you are here petitioning for mobile pit stops to help shower Skid Row cleaning programs. What the fuck is that? Get your fucking stupid ass mayor to get all the fucking homeless people off the fucking streets, all 95,000 of them, and house them. Not temporary, not somewhat now or later bullshit. Put them in motherfucking houses that we built with developers and that fucking moron, Jose Luis Huizar, for the record, and his cohorts of criminal corruption jackasses in Plum. You built all this luxury fucking apartments and now you want a nigger to bathe in a mobile truck? Why don't you wipe your ass in one and see how it feels? Why don't you shave behind another person who you've never met that might have scabies? You don't fucking know, and that's how fucking stupid the president is.
The floor is yours, Mr. Mike Yu. I
Thank you, Vice
apologize to all the members of our public. We will continue and do our best. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, Vice President Villegas, President Pro Tem Davis, Commissioner Corzine and Reyes, representative from City Attorney's Office, and Mr. Knight. My name is Mike Yu. I'm working for the Board of Public Works Executive Office. First, I want to provide some background information for the O3 programs and the current contract and upcoming RFP process. And the board approval in March 2021, March 2021, our RFP process was initiated to obtain the best value contract for mobile pit stop, mobile shower, and skid row cleaning program. Through a thorough negotiation evaluation process, the two contracts was executed for all three programs. C-138634 is for mobile pit stop and mobile shower program, and the C-138632 is for the skid row cleaning program. 3 years period, multiple amendments were executed to either extend the term of the contract, increase the cost ceiling, also expand the service to the Bureau Sanitation Care Plus program. All three programs, as well as Bureau Sanitation Care Plus program, have been improving the local hygiene environment, also address the basic needs of the local homelessness population, as well as reduce the public health risk which associated with public urination or defecation, etc. Meanwhile, the current two contracts will expire in June of next year, 2024. Given the imminent situation, so it is in the city's best interest to release a new RFP to obtain the new contract or contracts. By doing so, allow us to continue the three essential programs without service gap, meanwhile fostering a competition basis to a broader potential contractor. By seeing so, I'm requesting the board to approve this RP process and the subsequent contract negotiation process. This is to conclude my report. I'm open to any question you might have.
Thank you so much. Commissioners, do we have any questions on this item? Commissioner Reyes?
Yes, thank you so much for this item. It's really necessary. My question is on capacity. Is there a plan to expand the number of mobile showers, mobile units across our city? And if so, is there a clause in the contract that allows us to expand? And will there be like additional funding, and where are we going to get that funding if there's an opportunity to get extra funding for that specific service?
Commissioner Reyes, this is a good question. Yes, we do have a clause in both contracts to allow us to expand the service upon the additional funding availability. Like currently, in the original contract, we only have, like under the mobile shower trailer, we only have 4 mobile shower trailer for the service. Now we're adding in additional 1. So we are expanding the shower service at this moment.
And the funding is coming from, if there is an expansion, are we identifying another source of funding for this, or are we just going to increase the funding that is currently being provided?
The procedure is we will, before we expand the service, we will approach the CA office to request their approval. Then they will look through the currently is actual AP funding. If they have savings somewhere, they will give it to us for expanding the service.
And throughout the years, we have, we provided this before. Can you just give us like a sort of more context? Has the cost increased? How has the services been viewed? The benefits, what it really offers the general in terms of our target audience here. Our target is our homeless or our unhoused population. How is that going in terms of this specific service? I just wanted to just see that it is indeed making an impact as we provide these services to that community.
Actually, the both contractors are providing the monthly report regarding all 3 programs.
Okay.
And we do have a matrix there to measure the success of the programs. If you like, I will send you all the recently monthly report for 3 programs for your review and evaluate.
If you could do that, that would be of interest to me, and I know probably most of my colleagues will also, would like to see that. It's just because we do provide those services, and it's hardly that we tell our story of how, what is the impact of the services that we provide, especially for this priority of Mayor Bass.
I think the monthly report will speak for themselves. I will definitely send to all the commissioners for your review for the recently monthly report. And I will keep all of you on my distribution list from now on.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And those are excellent questions, Commissioner Reyes. And Mr. Yu, if you can just give that any supplemental information just to TJ Knight, and he'll make sure to give it to all of the commissioners, that would be helpful.
Okay, we'll do Vice President.
All right. Any, Dr.
I wanted
Davis.
to ask, in terms of this proposal, it is in addition to our current system of services that we provide in this area, or what? How does this?
Sorry.
How does this
Yeah,
motion-
actually, this RFP process just continue the current programs.
Correct.
So there's no change to the current scope of services.
Quantitatively, what specifically is it that we're aiming to achieve here in this motion? Are we going to expand it, which we are, but by how much do we seek to expand it by in this execution of requests for proposals? How many proposals are we looking for? And what is our vision in terms of increasing the services in these many different areas that you've identified in the motion?
The primary goal for this RFP process currently is to extend the service period for all 3 programs, so we don't have any service gap in between, because the current both contract will expire at the end of June of next year.
So we will expand in all 3 programs. However, how specifically do we intend to expand? Is there a vision for expansion? What I have noticed is that in terms of the motion before me, it says that it will impact all council districts. What does that mean quantitatively in terms of our vision with this proposal asking for a request for proposals? Does it mean that there are specific areas of town geographically, or is there some specific division of service that we have designed in the office to which we hope the request for proposals will be able to be in operation to deliver these services? Could you just give me summarily a little bit more information about how these requests for proposals will fit into whatever vision it is we have that impacts all council districts?
So the RP process is based on the city policy. So for any new contract, we need to go through RP process. So that's the primary purpose of this report. We do have a vision and a goal there. You know, we want to, because the O3 program was designed based on the pilot program in 2018. Work with all the council offices to identify the locations for the shower services, also pit stops. But however, please keep in mind, all 3 programs currently are supported by the state HHAP fund. So it's also subject to fund availabilities. According to the discussion with the city office, they are supporting our current program, the locations and our current program. However, in the future, if there's a need by discussion with the local community and the council office to expand the current program to more locations, we need to get a cost estimate, approach the city office. If they approve it, then we can definitely use another amendment to the current contract to expand the services.
So is it true that in our current system, with the current services we're delivering, that those contracts are coming up now, and therefore we're implementing this request for proposal to backfill and be ready to deliver or to sustain service moving forward? Is that why we have this proposal?
Yes, and the purpose of this proposal is to continue to service the location and the current programs.
And does any expansion from our current status of where we are delivering service exist in the proposal before us? Do we have any vision that these requests for proposal will be able to expand the existing services in terms of what we do in these areas?
After the new contracts are executed, we can definitely use the amendment as a vehicle to expand the service to include the new locations for all three programs. Most likely for the mobile pit stop and the mobile shower programs.
So, in fact, we could potentially do it. That is our vision in this motion before us today, is that in terms of mobile shower, as an example, we do intend to increase the services that we are providing in that area, correct?
That's correct.
So if in fact we're going to expand mobile shower services, do we have a vision of where we will increase those? I mean, it's such a dynamic problem all over the place. Is there some specific vision we have as to where we will expand first? Or is it premature to describe that at this point?
At this moment, we do have an intention there, but we don't have the particular location in mind yet. That I have to work with the local council office to identify the potential expanded locations. Because in order to expand the mobile shower program, besides identify location, we need to also identify a fire hydrant to provide the water source. Meanwhile, also the sewage connection, which need to comply with the state and the federal requirement to discharge the gray water. So that's not just a yes or no process. I need to work with the Bureau of Sanitation and the council office for the potential new locations for the shower program.
Okay, thank you. I think our city attorney also has a point of clarification.
Yeah, Commissioner Davis, you asked good questions as to the implementation aspects of the program, which would come into play for sure at contract negotiations and contract issuance. I believe what's before you is the issuance of a request for proposal, kind of consistent with our charter and administrative code requirements, so that we get proposals in and then evaluate those. So you've definitely given some guidance as to what might be the subject of negotiation and ultimate inclusion in the contracts, whether or not that's reflected in the RFP itself. I believe part of the transmittals does include the existing contract and scope of the program that covers many council districts, not all, but you've given the representatives something to think about, although it might not be at this point in time.
Well, we certainly support this effort, and it's certainly necessary, and hopefully we all will have a better understanding of what our vision is so that we can provide the adequate support. I believe that this is the kind of work that will not be immediately realized in terms of the difference that we're making and the problem that we're solving. It's a long-term problem that has to be consistently sustained for change to occur. But I do have faith that through doing this work, that over time, it will create it will make a difference, and that change will take place. But again, patience and faith are critically important for us to be successful. So certainly we support the request for proposal, and would like to know what our vision is so that we can all be headed in the same direction and on the same boat as it relates to these items. So thank you for the presentation today.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis.
Dr. Davis. Just one other question, if you can just give a little bit of clarity on this, the objectives for the RFP that's before us. The proposers can either propose on facilities attendant and monitoring services at permanent, temporary, or portable or automatic public toilet locations. That's one area that the proponents can bid on. Or number two, operations of mobile shower trailers and related attendant and monitoring services. That's another item that bidders can propose on. And number three, the Skid Row cleaning and litter abatement program. And your board report indicates that a proposer is they're encouraged to propose on one, two, or all of them. How do you find parity for, if we have proposers that are bidding more on one item or one of these objectives than the other?
So when we do the evaluation, we will create an evaluation sheet for each category, which means for each program. Then after for instance, if one contractor bid for all three category 3 programs, and their proposal will be evaluated independently for each program, got individual score. So then when we decide which contractor get which program to operate, then we will add in all their score and based on that to make that decision.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for just a little bit more context on that. I think what we're aiming for is just a parity for all three of those related services. And I'm sure that you will evaluate them as such so that we don't have more showers and less litter abatement, and one over the other.
That's correct. That's correct. So we might potentially have 3 contractors for 3 programs, 1 for each program. We might have 2 contractors, like one operated 2 programs, 1 just operated on 1 program.
Yeah. Okay. And I see that we still have, just based on the criteria of this RFP, the board, we can still retain the right to award separate contracts if we have a need in another area.
That's correct.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Commissioners, do we have any other questions on this item? Okay, I'll move the item if there's a second.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion by myself and a second by Commissioner Reyes and Davis. And before we take a vote, I will put you on notice. Gentleman sitting in the pew with the glasses and the black shirt, now turning around. If that is your first warning, I would please ask you to refrain from answering the questions that I'm addressing to the commissioners because that is disruptive. Please go ahead with the vote.
Thank you, Vice President Villegas. We will take a roll call vote on item number 3, starting with you.
Aye.
And President Pro Tem Davis?
Aye.
Commissioner Corsand?
Aye.
And Commissioner Reyes?
Aye.
All ayes, and item number 3 is approved and will move forward forthwith.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good afternoon. All right. All right. For item number 4, let's take public comment first. And we will start with the person with the letter starting with F.
Person in the room, starting with your name, who is starting with the letter F, please approach the podium. You'll have 2 minutes to offer your comment on item number 4.
Well, you need to resend this CD all because current price is still under the allegations of a criminal in the city of Los Angeles. And as far as what nigger here wears the badge for community beautification, you definitely are the worst shitholes in the city for not providing cleanup and various project needs, which means an extension of a budget that can actually hold the community beautification program to where it belongs, as a blessing and not as a curse, and you're going to hell. And the reason why I say that, because what the fuck? You don't think that Mr. Paul Roch, doesn't need more money to hire people and buy supplies? Fucking money and supplies don't just fall out of warehouses or come out of your drug deals or your sobriety tests. So whatever the fucking racist fat bitch up there thinks is good enough for the public, it's not. I demand that this fucking bitch go back and come up with some numbers that actually provide for the community beautification. Because if you go in CD 14 right now, there is no fucking way you can call that a beautification. It looks like the president's shithole trash can and her home. That's what it looks like. And a piece of shit like that should learn that if you're going to bring up millions of dollars for so-called, for example, community centers or neighborhood conservation corps, it's not fucking working. So if it doesn't work, don't be a bitch. Don't be a coward. Suck it up.
2 minutes.
Sucking it.
All right, thank you, Mr. Knight. Let's go on then to item number 4, and this is the Office of Community Beautification, and this is for all districts. And let's see. All right, I will read this in. Contract amendment, Office of Beautification, November 23rd to November 26th, recommending that the board, subject to the approval from the mayor, number 1, approve the subject appropriation or transfer funding execution of the following 17 contracts for the community beautification services for a term for 3 years and not to exceed contract ceiling aggregate amount beginning with November 2023 through November 2026 as listed below. A, Better Angels not to exceed an amount of $2 million for public right-of-way cleanup and various as-needed projects. B, Chrysalis at a not to exceed amount of $8 million for public right-of-way cleanup and various as-needed projects. Number 3, Coalition for Responsible Community Development at a not to exceed amount of $10 million for the public right-of-way, youth employment, and various as-funded projects. D, Gang Alternative Program at a not to exceed amount of, $10 million for the public right-of-way cleanup, youth employment, and various as-funded projects. 3, Hollywood Beautification Team at a not to exceed of $4 million for public right-of-way cleanup, tree planting, maintenance establishment care, and youth employment. F, Hollywood Partner Ventures at a not to exceed of $2 million for public right-of-way cleanup, tree maintenance, establishment care, and youth employment. G, International Environmental Corporation at a not to exceed amount of $2 million, public right-of-way cleanup, tree planting, maintenance, established care. H, Korean Youth Community Center at a not to exceed amount of $10 million for public right-of-way cleanup, tree planting, maintenance, establishment of care. H, Korean Youth Community Center at a not to exceed amount of $10 million for public right-of-way cleanup, tree planting, maintenance, establishment, care, and youth employment. I, LA Neighborhood Initiative at a not to exceed amount of $3.5 million for the various as-needed projects. J, LA Conservation Corps at a not to exceed amount of $10 million for the public right-of-way cleanup, tree planting, maintenance, establishment, care, and youth employment. K, New Direction for Youth at a not to exceed amount of $3 million, public right-of-way cleanup, and youth employment. L, Northeast Graffiti Busters at a not to exceed amount of $5 million, public right-of-way cleanup. M, Silmar Graffiti Busters at a not to exceed amount of $3 million for public right-of-way cleanup, tree establishment, maintenance, care, and N, Tree People at a not to exceed amount of $3 million for tree maintenance, establishment, and care. O, URU Blight Patrol at a not to exceed amount of $1 million, public right-of-way cleanup, youth employment, and various funded projects. P, West Coast Coalition at a not to exceed amount of $4 million for public right-of-way cleanup. Q, West Valley Alliance at a not to exceed amount of of $5 million for public right-of-way cleanup, city youth employment program. And number 2, authorize the president or 2 members of the Board of Public Works to execute the contract amendment after approvals as to form has been obtained by the city attorney, subject to approval of the mayor. And before us, we have Mr. Paul Roch. That is your second warning, not to be disruptive.
Good morning. Paul Roch, Director of the Office of Community Beautification. In September of 2020,
Thank you, it's okay. Go ahead.
in September of 2022, the Board of Public Works authorized the Office of Community Beautification to release a request for qualifications for various OCB services, including litter and weed abatement, youth employment, tree planting, tree care, tree establishment, tree maintenance, and various other as-funded or as-needed special projects. The submitted responses to the RFQ were rated by OCB staff as well as other Board of Public Works staff. Each response was rated by 3 different individuals, In total, 18 responses to the RFQ were submitted. One response was deemed to be non-responsive as the bidder did not perform the business inclusion program outreach as required by the RFQ. So today, the Office of Community Beautification is pleased to bring forward our recommendations to the Board of Public Works to contract with 17 different organizations who responded to the recent RFQ solicitation. Some of these agencies are current contractors with OCB, and for some, this is their first time contracting with OCB, and in some cases, their first time contracting with the City of Los Angeles. Some of these organizations only bid on providing a specific service, such as tree-related services or just public right-of-way cleanup. In other cases, these organizations provided a response to bid for several of the different services. By utilizing the RFQ process, OCB intends to create a bench list of contractors who will be ready to be called upon in cases where they are able to provide the requested services at a reasonable price to the city. We know that some of these contractors will receive funding right away to continue to provide current services that they currently provide, such as Clean LA, clean streets, tree planting, etc. We also know that in some cases, OCB will be able to bring some of these new contractors on board fairly quickly to provide these similar services. Many of the bidders scored quite high in our ratings of their evaluations. Some of the others not so high. This was mostly because they did not have previous experience as contractors with the city or providing these types of services. It is our goal to help grow some of these new contractors and to provide an opportunity to gain that experience. There is no guarantee that all of these bidders will necessarily receive work through these contracts, but they will have the opportunity to bid on some specific projects and present their proposals. Thank you for your attention to this item. I am available for any questions that the board may have.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Rutch, for your report. Commissioners, do we have any questions? Yeah, Commissioner Corson, go right ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, Paul. It's great to hear that there are new participants in this program. Can you talk a little bit about some of them? You don't have to talk about all of them, but I'm curious to know a little bit about some of them, why we chose them, a little bit about their background, how long they've been around, anything you could provide.
Sure. So some of the new contractors are well-known agencies in the city of Los Angeles, Tree People, Chrysalis, groups like that, that have a long-established track record of providing these types of services, and we feel will fit into the OCB mold very easily. And we're excited to bring them on board as first-time contractors with OCB. Then there are also a number of smaller groups that we have previously not really been aware of. They're different projects located throughout the city of Los Angeles, Better Angels, URU, Blight Patrol. These are smaller groups trying to just establish a foothold. And so we will be working with them to see if we're able to get them up to speed where they are able to either provide clean street services or become a part of Clean LA or something like that. Clean LA, we obviously know our current contractors are pretty much at max capacity for the number of individuals that they're able to employ. So it's super important to us to be able to bring these additional contractors on board, as well as giving an opportunity to some smaller and new organizations throughout the city of Los Angeles, providing them with the opportunity to get their foot in the door, so to speak.
I'm excited to see Better Angels a part of it because I know they're new, and we'd connected them with you for supplies over the summer for some of their community cleanups they do. So it's great that your team was able to encourage them to participate in the RFP and make it through here, especially given that they're such a new organization.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Corson. Any other questions? I don't see any others. Thank you, Mr. Roch, for your report. Glad to see that we have so many participants also. And, we leave a certain section of it just a little, vague, I think, is we just call it "and other projects." And if you could just speak a little bit to that for, I guess, like, for the public to be able to know what that entails.
So, in a lot of cases, we will get supplemental funding from different council offices or sometimes other city departments wanting to utilize our contractors for work that may be a little bit beyond litter abatement or bulky item pickup or something like that. In some cases, we have received questions from council offices if any of our contractors have the ability to, say, like build street furniture or put in a community garden or something like that. And one of the agencies that I didn't mention, but I'm excited about bringing on board is LANI, the Los Angeles Neighborhood Initiative. They're another group that has a long-standing track record in the city of doing special projects like this. And they bid just on that section. They're not interested in running a Clean LA program or doing cleanup, but as special projects may come forward to OCB or through the city council offices about doing something in a neighborhood, they would be interested in perhaps participating in that. So it is a little bit of a catch-all. Obviously, it has to be something that's related to community beautification and those types of projects or services.
Wonderful. Appreciate that just for the public record. Thank you. All right, do we have a motion to approve this item, commissioners? All right,
Second?
thank you. All right, Mr. Knight, we have a motion by Dr. Davis and a second by Commissioner Corson. If you can please take roll.
Very good. And we'll take a roll call vote on item number 4, starting with you, Madam Vice President.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis.
Aye.
Commissioner Corson.
Aye.
And Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
All ayes. Item number 4 is approved and will be referred to the mayor forthwith.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right,
Have
have a
a
good
good
afternoon. Thank you. All right, let's move on to item number 5. And for this item, Mr. Knight, I think we have 2 speakers. Is that correct for public comment?
We do. Let me, if you wish to take public comment now, I will call out our virtual platform speaker who may have already dropped off.
Yes, please.
Dr. Williams. Dr. Williams, if you'd please press *6 to unmute. And I think he has dropped off of the meeting.
Okay.
We do also have in-person commenter on item numbers.
Yeah, we have a person on number 5 with the letter starting with F.
And you have 2 minutes.
Right, regarding fat bitch is what I signed up on a public comment card. Well, the fat bitch has to leave to ensure that the sidewalks, the curbs, and the ramps that were denied for 50 to 80 years are going to get replaced by the city of Los Angeles and not dumped on the citizens under your stupid project by your stupid ADA office and the stupid asshole who runs that shithole, Mr. Simon, and his clowns like Mr. Port, P-O-R-T for the record. Because during that budget, jackasses were talking about how to steer off all this shit about where to go about talking about sidewalks. But you see, we're going to second this regardless because we have to do something with the fucking money. And it's not going to any good because our sidewalk and streets are constantly on your public record during council meetings in room 340 of Chambers when the dickhead moron, Mr. Armenian, talks about, oh, we got to pay a liability slip and fall. Well, goddamn right you do, because the city attorney and her corrupted ex-boss Peter Dickhead Thomas fuck everything up, lying and making things worse, because our issue here is all about who you know, who you're gonna pay, who's gonna pay to play the game, and pad your fat fucking wallets, right? Because I don't see any good coming out of this ADA 2010 standard other than it's fucked up and the dumb bitch is back. I second it.
2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Knight. All right, let's go on then to item number 5. And this is a joint report with BOE and BCA for all districts. And this is a request for qualifications, a pre-qualified list of on-call for small sidewalk construction and repair services contractors, recommending that the board authorize the city engineer to issue and advertise the transmitted RFQ to an established pre-qualified on-call list of small sidewalk construction and repair services contractors for various Department of Public Works projects. Number 2, authorize the staff from the Department of Public Works to pre-qualify the respondents based upon the required and procedures set forth in the RFQ. And 3, not apply the local business preference program requirements for this RFQ. 4, include the utilization of local transitional employer lists for this RFQ. 5, direct the city engineer to report to the board with a proposed list of pre-qualified on-call list for small sidewalk repair contractors for adoption. And 6, authorize the city engineer to make technical updates as necessary, and further to reissue and re-advertise the transmitted RFQ throughout the life of the list and add additional contractors when necessary. And before us on item number 5, from BOE, I see we have Elliot Choi, and from BCA, we have Linda McGlinchey. Is that correct?
Good morning, Commissioners, City Attorney, and
I'm sorry. Please move the microphone right up to your. It's a sensitive mic. Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners, City Attorney, and Assistant Executive Officer. My name is Elliot Choi, and I'm with the Bureau of Engineering Sidewalk Division. So to provide some background on this opportunity, there is currently an active small sidewalk repair pre-qualified on-call contracts, which were adopted in 2016 as the pilot for the board's community-level contracting program in partnership with BOE and BCA. So that started with 35 small contractors, 2/3 of which were first-time respondents, and many of whom were small, local, and disadvantaged business enterprises. So those contracts have now been amended twice since then, and they will be expiring at the end of this month. So work packages issued to these contractors have been capped at a ceiling of $100,000 and are not subject to a bidding process. Instead, their value is determined using a stipulated prices sheet, which contains fixed unit prices for various items that the contractor will need and will be issued on a rotating basis. So these prices are reviewed and adjusted annually to reflect market rates. And to date, about 40 work packages have been issued to 21 unique contractors, totaling over $3 million in construction and 50,000 square feet of sidewalks constructed. So as this current list is about to expire, we're looking to establish a new list to allow new small contractors to have a similar opportunity. So compared to the active list now, there are some proposed changes. The scope of work will be roughly the same, which will be primarily sidewalk and curb ramp repair. But there are a few key differences, which include changes based on lessons learned, as well as direct feedback from the contractors themselves. One of those changes is to raise the ceiling from $100,000 to $150,000 per work package. So when that $100,000 limit was set, so that is just a ceiling, which means the average work package ends up being around $60,000 to $80,000, with a not to exceed of $100,000. And an increase of $150,000 to $150,000 would allow us to package roughly sites that total $100,000 to $120,000. So when we did the second amendment for the current list, some of the feedback we received was that 100,000 was really difficult in terms of profitability for the contractors because there are a lot of set flat fees that they also have to incur when they accept a project. Additionally, for the Bureau of Engineering staff who program these packages, we're finding out that with rising costs, we had to be a little bit more selective on the types of work that we could actually issue because of the costs. Secondly, we added recommendation number 6, which is new to the board report. And so what that would allow is the flexibility to make changes to the RFQ when necessary during the life of the contract. And so, it would allow us to scale the projects and the program as we receive additional resources. So for example, just this year, council approved $28.3 million for the access request acceleration. And, we plan to use a portion of that for this program. So the way this program works is we don't have a direct funding source, but as we receive resources, we're able to plan and issue work packages to these small contractors. And so as we receive additional resources, including staffing, we're able to scale, and having the flexibility to make changes before the end of the term of the contract will allow us to kind of adjust accordingly. Additionally, modifying the ceiling with board approval would allow us to potentially account for possible rising costs in the future, like we kind of had to deal with from the 100,000, or having issues with the $100,000 ceiling. We also want to be more proactive with training and preparing new contractors. So as of a month ago, our partners at Meriwether and Williams, who run the contractor development and bonding program, informed us that there were 53 interested contractors right now who meet some level of minimum pre-qualification requirements. And 2/3 of those 53 are new contractors who have received some level of assistance at no cost to them through that program in topics such as city procurement, bonding, certification, or labor compliance. And they've communicated that they will be hosting at least one more training to align with the posting of this RFQ opportunity. In addition, we have an upcoming event being run by the mayor, the Accessing LA Rise With event on October 14th. And there will be a panel that BCA will be hosting for small sidewalk, the small sidewalk opportunity, to advertise this opportunity. And we will be moving the response date for this RFQ, if approved, to accommodate this event. Lastly, one addition and change is that we want to have a mandatory modified small business academy for all first-time bidders who get added to the list, and they will be required to attend a training to go over topics like invoicing, RFIs, construction orders, change orders, and reading the plans that the city provides to them. So the goal is to post this opportunity as early as today, with an open window of about 8 weeks to allow the respondents to submit their proposals. So that's the end of my presentation, and I have Julia Sanchez de la Vega and Linda McGlinchey here to assist with any questions.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your presentation. Very concise and thorough. Commissioners, do we have questions on this item? Go ahead, Commissioner Reyes.
Just a question on like the CLC, that opportunity for them to become prime, right? Contractors. Are there any streamlined processes or incentives that are in place so that we can ease them through our sort of bureaucratic process, right? I could still define it that way. How are we intending to make it efficient and yet effective for them to go through our system?
Good morning, Commissioners. Linda McLynch, Bureau of Contract Administration. For this CLC opportunity, as Elliot mentioned, for those who are first-time bidders that are placed on the list, we will be doing a modified Small Business Academy to ensure that they are receiving advanced training prior to doing a work package of the process for completing the package, billing, and getting paid. In addition, because it is a CLC opportunity, BCA just as a matter of practice expedites those payments for the small local businesses. So those would be the two things that we're working to do.
So, and also in the future, just piggybacking on the Small Business Academy, is there a plan to also do a Small Business Academy for other type or industries in addition to this? I don't want to put you on the spot, but that was just like the question that came to my mind, and I want to ask it now before I forget to ask you.
So our official Small Business Academy, we are actually kicking off next week. It's focusing on the personal professional services. We typically bounce back and forth every other year, personal professional services, then construction. As we said, for this specific RFQ, we are targeting a type of small business academy to help these first-time bidders. Anyone really in the RF that's approved for the list could attend, but it's primarily focused on the first-time bidders. This is the second CLC opportunity I've been here for this week, and we're doing similar for that other opportunity as well.
Thank you, and kudos to all of you. I appreciate it.
Thank you for those questions, Commissioner Reyes. I have just a few questions myself. Thank you for bringing this list, to us today and being able to give us just a little bit of context. I'm wondering, as this is being prepared, will these contractors only be, I'm trying to find my place in my PDF, and there's like 400 pages in our attachments. Will these contractors only be relegated for the sidewalk construction and repair service, or will they be tapped to do other work?
We, are at the Bureau of Engineering Sidewalk Division, Sidewalk Repair Program team, manage this list but do, make it available for anyone that may have, a scope of work and a dollar value that meet the criteria of the on-call list. So we were able to work on the past lists to have a few of those sites that we issued predominantly out of our program. I believe through Bureau of Street Services they were able to issue work. So we've also let DWP know about the list and answered their questions in the past to work with them to explore opportunities. So yes, we absolutely invite collaboration and on the use of this resource. Mm-hmm.
Okay. But they'll be asked just to do kind of like the sidewalk construction and repair services, but you'll ask other sister agencies to also participate if they need it for this list. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And I think that's a great suggestion. We'll make sure if to have that programmed in and have the contacts available. So as soon as the list is established, folks know that resources come online.
Thank you. And then, I am glad that we are continuing our efforts on the community level contracting to provide the mandatory training and then using our resources, that are readily available to us with the Meriwether program to be able to, really give a lot of resources to new contractors that, are not familiar with our invoicing and the many rules that we have as bureaucracy and as government. But these are public dollars and we require all that. But I'm glad that you all are doing training. If you can give us updates, on how that's coming along, that would be information that would be really good for us. Just, I'm not asking for like a special report or anything, just an update either, when you update commissioners on other, sidewalk repair programs or anything like that. That would be beneficial. Our intent obviously is to have, contractors that are starting with us and that they understand and get a better sense of just the rhythm of the city of Los Angeles, and then to establish themselves and to ultimately be, a lead and have a success. And then along that way, also, we may have others that have bumps in the road, so we really appreciate that you're doing this training, for them. Thank you. Did you want to say anything?
I was just going to state that obviously we will be reporting on our progress on these CLC opportunities at our quarterly reports. Next one, I believe, is scheduled for November.
Oh, good. Oh, then it'll tie into that. Okay. Wonderful. Thank you. All right. And then just, for public record, I know that these contracts are going to be $300,000. Is that correct? Or less? A ceiling of 300,000?
Yeah, 150,000 or less.
Oh, 150,000 or less. And again, just for public record, and that is why we are not including the local business preference program. Okay. But we are seeking this to be a community level contracting. Okay. All right. Dr. Davis, did you have another question?
Yeah, I had some questions. The number of vendors we include to have in the program, did we have a specific number in terms of, I heard you mention that Meriwether Williams said that we have 53 vendors, is that correct?
That's correct. And that includes 17 that are currently on the list that's about to expire. So 17 who've and have an understanding of this program and been through this program, and then the rest are new first-time responders.
Do we have a goal in terms of the numbers that we intend to have on this upcoming list?
Not a set goal at the moment.
Do we expand 17? Because I know some of our lists are 25, right?
Excuse me?
Some of our lists for other projects in construction are a list of 25 vendors. Some of our lists. So my question is, how does that apply to the potential expansion of this particular list?
So for clarification, any respondent to the RFQ that meets the minimum criteria we're looking to place on the list. There's no minimum or maximum number. What Elliot was referring to is Meriwether and Williams has been preparing contractors through their contractor development program.
Sure.
As of right now, they have 53 that would meet that minimum criteria that are interested in responding. Of those 53, 17 are currently on the list. So we're looking at 30 something that would be first-time bidders if they all respond.
Great. I'm glad to see this work being done. In terms of the cost from 150,000, it used to be 100,000. Is 150 as much as we can engage in individually with these smaller contractors? And would it be a problem to have it expanded? Is this based upon data that we chose 150? Why not 500,000?
So for our community level contracting, it's sort of a fine line of getting those community level contractors involved. The higher we raise that threshold or the maximum work package, the more interest we'll get from larger contractors, and we cannot exclude them.
That's correct.
So the lower amount makes it more attractive to the smaller ones that we would really like to see.
Got it. Well, thank you so very much, and I think this work is important, and we want to be a system in this region of Southern California that is inclusive, based upon not only just construction work in general, but the size of the companies in this region. We have a lot of small businesses, and Los Angeles wants to be a place where small businesses have opportunities. And so for that reason, I'm very happy to see us implement this program. And it creates an opportunity for underrepresented groups who normally don't get work with us, whom we often don't see in the data as those who have been contracting. So that when you implement this kind of a program, it helps to increase the potential for those individuals who obviously live here, they vote here, they contribute to society, and I'd love to see them involved in our construction work as well. So thank you for this work, and we've been talking about it, and this seems to be an effort towards actually doing it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I don't see any other questions.
Just for the record, I would like
Sure.
to add that the next community level contracting oral report from all bureaus is scheduled for November 8th.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. Thanks for that clarification. All right, I'll motion for this item to be approved. Do we have a second? All right, we have a motion by myself and a second by Commissioner Reyes. Mr. Knight, if you could please take roll.
Very good. And we will take a roll call vote on item number 5, starting with you, Madam Vice President,
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis,
Aye.
Commissioner Corsand.
Aye.
And Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
All ayes. Item number 5 is adopted and will move forward forthwith.
Wonderful. Thank you all. Have a great evening. All right. Give me a moment, please. My PDF froze.
Yes, we are on item 6, and we do have a substitute on item 6 from the listed Bureau staff representative. We have Eva Valencia. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Aida, I'm so sorry.
Whoa.
Good morning, everyone.
Let me just read the item for the
sorry.
record. That's okay. That's okay. And before we take item number 6, I think we have public comment from a gentleman with the letter starting with F.
We do, and I'll call out, I don't see him in the room, but if the commenter on item number 6, starting with your name, starting with the letter F, is in the room, please approach the podium. And I think he's left the room.
Okay. All right, then item number, public comment for item number 6 is done. And let me read that in for the record. This is a motion, and it's for all districts, and it's an AFE for the American Red Cross, Bureau of Street Services, and Office of Accounting are requesting approval and execution of an authority for an expenditure in the amount of $38,000 to provide funds to pay for training by the American Red Cross. The proposed training is to fulfill OSHA's safety training requirements for the following divisions: Construction Service Division, Street Maintenance Division, Street Renewal Division, and remaining balances for Urban Forestry Division. And before us on this item is, Aida, I see you in the audience. Okay, I had on my notes Rose, but go right ahead, please.
Okay, thank you. Good morning. My name is Aida Valencia. I am the Construction Services Division Manager for the Bureau of Street Services. Today we are asking funding for American Red Cross training. This training is for first aid, CPR, and AED for 420 employees. Not only is this training required by Cal OSHA, but it's also imperative for crew safety. In the field, we encounter accidents, injuries, and illness, and having people ready for immediate action is very important to us. The staff that's going to be trained is mostly field personnel, but we do have some office people going through the training. The training provides the employee a certificate, which is good for 2 years. After the 2 years, there is a refresher course to bring them in for a refresher training, keep them current. The Bureau, our employees work in crews in teams of 2 and by themselves. So the more people that are trained, the better for us as people transfer in and out crews of divisions and out of the Bureau. So having field personnel trained increases our ability to respond when the unforeseen happens, and the unforeseen always happens.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. And is this training for CPR?
CPR, first aid, and
Okay.
defibrillator.
Wonderful. Commissioners, do we have any questions? I'm glad that we're getting this training done for our employees. Definitely needed, because we never know when we're going to use it and utilize it. I make my children do it too. It's so needed. Thank you so much. All right, Commissioners, if we don't see any questions on this item. City Attorney, I just have a quick question for you. Our executive officer is just out of the room to do a vote. Should I still do a motion and a second and then just wait for him, or?
I think,
Yeah,
I think we should wait.
Okay, not a problem. We'll just wait for a little bit. Wonderful. All right, do we have a motion on this item? All right, we have a, Mr. Knight, we finished deliberating on item number 6, and we have a motion by Commissioner Corsan and a second by Dr. Davis. If you can please take roll call for the AFE for Bureau of Street Services, item number 6.
Very good. And we will take a roll call vote on item number 6, starting with you, Madam Vice President.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis.
Aye.
Commissioner Corsan.
Aye.
And Commissioner Reyes.
Aye.
All ayes, and item number 6 is approved and will move forward forthwith.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Have a good afternoon. All right, let's move on to oral reports. And this is by the Bureau of Street Services, a status update on major upcoming street improvement projects.
Good morning, Vice President Villegas, Dr. Davis, Commissioner Corsan, and Commissioner Reyes, Mr. Knight. My name is Angelo Gopal with the Street Renewal Division. This information is being provided to keep the public informed on the upcoming resurfacing projects and to minimize the impact on the community as well as delays. For additional information or concerns, you can contact the coordinating section of the Street Renewal Division. There are no major street projects scheduled for the Metro or Valley region during the week of October 8th to October 14th. However, we will provide an update on our 23-24 pavement preservation program. During the week of October 8th through October 14th, the Valley and Metro regions will complete 15 projects for a total of 8.64 lane miles. The press releases were distributed and notifications have been issued. Streets LA has coordinated with the council offices to assist with the outreach to the stakeholders. We have coordinated with the Los Angeles Department of Transportation for traffic control assistance. This information is also available on the Streets LA website. And again, this concludes my report.
Wonderful. Thank you. I don't see any questions. We're good. Thank you. All right, let's move on then to item number 8. And this is bulky item pickup drop-off, Bureau of Sanitation.
Hi. Morning. It's wonderful to be
Good morning.
last, isn't it? Morning, commissioners. Commissioner Reyes, Dr. Davis, Vice President Villegas, Mr. Corson is out of the room, but I'm here to give you a short update on our bulk item drop-off program. I was here earlier this year, but we have numbers since then. But I'll read the numbers from both last fiscal year, when I came and reported last time, and up until now. Last year for the year, it wasn't for the year. That was for the year. Since I was here last in June, or June until September numbers, we have a total of 169 tons dumped, 661 items, and 453 participants. That includes the East Valley Yard, the West Valley Yard, the Harbor Yard, the West Los Angeles Yard, and it does include Clark's, which we use for both South LA and North Central districts. Any questions?
Is that all?
That's all.
Okay, that was short and to the point.
Very short and to the point. It's
I should
only
have had
bumped
you
down
up
drop-off.
before. Thank you. Thank you for your report. Appreciate it. Any questions? No. All right. Thank you.
Have a good
Have a
weekend.
good afternoon. Thank you. All right. Mr. Knight, does this clear the desk for today?
Yes, it does.
Okay. And we will not be having a management meeting, so just for the public to know. We are adjourned at 11:39 on October 6th. Thank you.
Thank you.
I love it when you're in control, so you don't take no crap from him. Yeah, he ran out of talking time, so he left.